All right, welcome back to Module 3 of Video Ranking Academy. You're doing great. We're in this together. We are learning how to rank our videos, so of course they can make a difference in our lives and our businesses and ultimately increase our influence, impact, and our income. And in the last module, we just got done going through first reverse engineering the whole process, starting with the end in mind. Then we went through research. And so now you should have some video titles and the exact video ideas that you want to make. And so now we're in the third module. And again, I want to thank you for being here and encourage you to persevere. When you keep your why front and center, that's how you keep your motivation high, your motive, your why, to provide for your family, to increase your income, to build your influence so your message can reach farther than ever before. Keep that why front and center, and we're going to keep going in this next module. Okay, so we're talking about record. Now that's kind of the fun part, right? We're going to hit the record button, and all the strategy that's got into this is why this is going to be successful. And so we already have the exact, titles that we're going to make videos around. And here's some specific things when it comes to recording that we need to know up front. The first is audience retention. These are YouTube's top ranking factors. Now, there's a lot of ranking factors, and we're going to go through those in the ranking module. But some of the top things that are relevant to this module of recording. And the first is this: audience retention. And what that means is how long people are watching your videos. And so the way to actually see that on YouTube is you can go into your Creator Studio. And when you get in Creator Studio, on the left here, you have all these different options. And if you go into a specific video, you can look at the audience retention. What's crazy is, and this is actually pretty typical of a lot of videos, is that even this video, you could see the curve here of how people drop off and stop watching. And so at 256, I still have about 1 out of 2 people watching. By 522, I've got 1 out of 3 people watching. 30% people are left. And you see the average view duration, and there's a few takeaways from here. Honestly, this video is 9 minutes long. The optimal length of a YouTube video is actually really based around this YouTube view duration. It's right between 3 and 4 minutes. And so I went longer than that. This video ranked. It ranks number 1. But some things to note. But the key here is some people's videos start and then it's like, boom, they just drop. And a lot of times that happens if you trick people, if you don't start strong and don't grab their attention. And if that happens, YouTube is not going to rank your video. At the end of the day, you have to have content that holds people's attention. So one of the main ranking factors is keeping people's attention. And even something like this gets great results from them. So let's look at another video I did actually on Casey Neistat camera gear. And in this video, kind of similar as well. Like we dropped down to about 60%. And just so you know, the average is having a 60% consistent through your video is actually very strong on YouTube. But by the time we hit 43, we're down to 40%. But even this one also is a good video that ranks. And so you can look at your audience retentions and get different ideas for how long people are watching your videos. But the key here is that you want your videos to be engaging and to hold people's attention. The second ranking factor is the total watch time and also session time. And so a couple things here. What the watch time is if in fact your video was 10 minutes or you had 3 videos that were 3 minutes each, or 3, and 4, YouTube just wants people to be on YouTube as long as possible. So if they're watching your videos one after another and they're all 3 minutes and they stick with you, it's going to rank you higher because they see that wherever the person started and they started their session, their watch time on YouTube, if they're hanging on your videos and if you had a 30-minute video and even like maybe a low audience retention, but people watched all 30 minutes because you were teaching, they're going to count that as like the total watch time. But then session time actually is crazy. Session time means if they started with you. So if they went to YouTube, they type in best camera for YouTube and they watch my video and then they leave after 3 minutes, but then they stay on for an hour, it credits that to my session time. And so that's not something that you necessarily can control unless you just have good content that maybe provokes someone to continue to learn. Or you could create a YouTube playlist, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. And on that YouTube playlist, you could even link other people's videos up. But if they're staying in YouTube sandbox, if you will, and you are the initiator, YouTube credits that as session time. And here's why. Yeah, understanding YouTube, what they want is they want to know that content is good. If you give a sensational title and thumbnail, but trick people and they just drop after 10 seconds, YouTube's not going to rank that because they want people to watch substantial content. And then watch time and session time, they want to compete with TV. YouTube wants to compete with not just getting people to watch a 30-second snippet. They want people to watch substantial content. So they reward if you can hold people's attention and keep watch time going. And then the third huge one that are the top ranking factors is viewer engagement. And so anything that gets people to hit the like button, even if they dislike it, it means they're engaged. Like, dislike, comments, if they take an action and subscribe because they watch your video, if they hit any of the share buttons, it rewards all of those things. So you want to do those things. Here's the key. If we sum all of this up, it really comes down to good content. And the reality is this: all the optimization tactics in the world are only going to work on good content. Content ultimately is king. If we do all the ranking factors and all the cool ninja stuff I'm going to teach you later, but we put up a bad video and it's a trick, and we try to just rank a video that really doesn't deliver on promises and really doesn't help the audience and really doesn't add any value, and people don't, 10 seconds in, they go, oh, this isn't what I was looking for, and there's not a congruency there, then it doesn't matter how much we optimize it. And so we're going to talk about now then, well, how do we make a good video? Like, what is going to be the kind of video that ranks? And so here's an outline. We're going to go through this framework, which I've been really perfecting for years and optimizing it based around psychology and testing and my friends' tests and experts in the industry of how to really put together the best video that can be easy to implement and just follow this formula and framework and get results and rank your videos. So the first thing that you want to lead with is the hook. Then you have the bumper, and the bumper is like a little logo. It's like kind of some graphics, and it's optional, but usually you might have a hook, you grab attention. You have the bumper, it's like, welcome to my channel, and it has some graphics. And then you have the intro, and we'll talk through that. Then you go into the content, and that's going to be actually delivering on the promise and the value of what you promised in the title. And then I put in a question, an outro, and then bloopers. And you can download the overview of this framework as well and make sure to get that. Okay, so follow the formula. So these are the ingredients, and the order is important. And so if you're going to bake a cake, it's not just what ingredients go into the cake, but it's also the order that go into baking a cake. And so make sure that these stay in order. However, you can experiment in just this recipe based upon your goals, but I've tested this. About 80% or more of my videos across all my channels rank in the top search results. And so trust that you can know that this works. And unless your content is maybe more creative and is not in an arena of just the usual persons, just stick with this formula. Trust me, it's going to work. Okay, so we're going to start with the hook. This is the first 10 seconds of your video. And this is something that I actually do. Is I actually write this out on paper. It's so important that it needs to be thought through and done well, realizing like this is your chance. In fact, this is what they say. Statistically, you only have 5 to 10 seconds to grab someone's attention for them to make a determination if they want to watch your video or not. And so in the first 10 seconds, you're going to turn your title into a question that your audience is searching for. And so an example would be, so you're looking for the best printer under $100. Well, in this video, I'm reviewing 3 of the best options coming up. Sorry, you didn't see that. So this is your first 10 seconds. And that would be a way to put it in there. This is where you take your title, business tips, and you say, so you're looking for the latest tips working from the experts in business. In this video, I'm going to share with you 6 business tips and how you can implement them today. And so something that captures your audience attention. In this video, I'm going to be showing you step by step how to build this or do this, or the biggest mistakes. You want to grab their attention. Now, here's the tip. You're going to share a question, and then you also want to share what you're promising to deliver. And so it always provokes. I like to start with the question. So like, how do you get more views on YouTube? Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you 5 ways to get more views. Now that's a promise of 5 ways to get more views. So how do you really cover up blemishes and really get that smooth, skin that doesn't show them? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you my secret formula that covers blemishes. And so you make a promise and you provoke interest. And then the tip here is to actually say your keywords. Now, what's crazy is right now, Google doesn't actually read what you're saying. However, this is kind of a prediction for me. This is sort of unofficial, but YouTube does have a closed captioning feature where they attempt to translate what you're saying, and it actually is getting more and more accurate. That's number 1. Number 2, we'll go through this later, but you can add closed captioning to your videos, meaning you can go in and have it transcribed and then add that to the video. So if you add keywords that are in the exact title, if my title is business tips for success, then you want to say your keywords right up front, and that is another trigger and a signal of why YouTube and Google should rank your video, because they see that there is alignment, congruence between the title and between the content of the video, because verbally they see that you're saying the keyword. So if you say, so you're looking for the latest business tips for success, and then the video is closed captioned, but even if you don't, a day is coming, I'm predicting, and even could be here now, where they are reading what you're saying, and that is helping them know, well, this video really is about business tips for success, instead of trying to trick it or rank for something other than what is aligned with your video. So say your keywords right in the intro, and then a power tip would be to give a reason to watch until the very end of the video. And so the way to do this would be, so in this video, so you're looking for the best camera for YouTube videos. In this video, I'm going to share 3 of the best options, and watch until the end of the video, because I'm going to share with you my secret money saving tips. Boom. If you want audience, I don't always do this, and I should. I mean, it's so powerful because you saw how that audience retention can drop off. If you can give a reason to watch until the end of the video, not only do they want the 3 tips of the video or the content, but they want to see, whatever's happening at the end of the video, then you can up your audience retention. Okay, so that's the first part. That's the first 10 seconds. And then next is we would go into the bumper. And this is a 3 to 5 second intro for the video. And I say 3 to 5 seconds because one of the big mistakes I see people making is then they've got like this 30-second long video. This isn't an episode of Friends. This is YouTube, the attention span. And think about that. Even if you're watching some sitcoms, what happens partway into the season? They stop playing the long version of the intro. Like they actually have the condensed version. You want the condensed version for your bumper. So no longer than 10 seconds. And here's a way to get this. If you don't want to mess with any crazy design or anything, you can actually get it on Fiverr for $5. Or you could also get a template on videohive.net and make that yourself, or have somebody make it, or you can make your own. But just on Fiverr, or we go to Fiverr.com if you've never heard of it. It's a site where all kinds of services and things can get done for you for $5. So if you typed in video intro or bumper, then you can see here that what you do is pay $5, send them what you want, you send them your logo or send them a word, and they will turn it into a video bumper for you. Boom, your channel name, game over. And that's kind of a good length, and you maybe cut it. That was 7 seconds. And so you would be ready to go. So you could do a bumper there. You could do a template. There's different ways, but this would be the area to add just a quick bumper, which will add to the branding of your channel. And here's the thing. Don't worry about this too much. But if you can, it does increase credibility and helps branding. So don't let it stop you from creating today if you don't have one yet, or if you can't incorporate it yet. All right, now you're in your intro. So this is the part, we want this to be short, but we have to always assume this. Always assume that people are seeing your video for the first time. You're always talking to two different people. One, your audience, people who already know who you are and your subscribers. But when you're ranking videos, you're always meeting new people. Thus, every time you create a new video, it's an opportunity to kind of reintroduce yourself and kind of let people know what you're all about, what your channel's about, what your brand is about. So this, less is better, but definitely 15 to 30 seconds max. Introduce yourself and your channel. Bonus, you could say 1 to 2 line sentence of authority, like best-selling author. And then you could also give an early call to action to subscribe, which the reason here is not to take focus away from maybe letting people know about affiliate products or joining an email list. But the reason here is to realize that, again, people aren't going to watch till the end of the video. So if you can get them to just take that simple action of subscribing to the channel, then they're going to know in the future when you release future videos. So an example for video influencers, I'd always say, hey, what's up guys? Sean here with Video Influencers, helping you build your impact, income, and influence with online video. And on this channel, we interview video influencers, as well as we share tips and strategy videos just like these. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. But hey, in this video, I'm going to, and so that was the intro, and I kind of get used to saying it and it becomes second nature. When I was doing my book, I would, and doing sessions, I would say something like, hey, what's up guys? Sean here, best-selling author of my book and also creator of something. And you just give like an authority building sentence. And that's a kind of a best process there. And then new people kind of know who you are and could see a little bit of that authority. And then optional, you could also give an early call to action for an email list or affiliate links. And here's the reason I do this too. We saw those kind of discouraging figures of the fact that by 3 minutes, only 2 out of 4 people are watching. And so if I've got a video with the affiliate marketing, and we're going to get to that in the revenue module, if you're not sure what that is quite yet, but if I've got a video with gift ideas in it, as soon as I say, if you're new here, definitely subscribe. And hey, at any point in this video, definitely check out links and show notes in the description below. I'll list out everything in this video, including all of the gear reviewed or all of the gift ideas. So check that out at any time. That early call to action, catch this, is huge because, again, if you don't give the call to action until the end of the video, then probably only 50% or maybe 1 in 4 people, or even less than that, are even ever going to hear the call to action. And so for us, being able to really build our affiliate income, specifically off affiliate marketing and videos that review stuff, that early call to action is huge because it gets people to discover and potentially click on your links earlier. And so that'd be the intro. Now, then we jump into the content, and a couple things here. One, you want to get here as soon as possible. So I know we just talked at length on the hook and the bumper and the intro, but you want to breeze through that stuff. Have it be optimized, have it be efficient. 10-second hook, 5-second bumper, 15-second intro. Boom, you're in your content. And when you get here, so you want to get here as soon as possible, and you want to deliver quality answers and solutions. And this honestly should be circled in red and highlighted in yellow and animated right now with special graphics, because it really, again, comes down to, I can't emphasize enough that content is absolutely king. And so if the search title that they came to your video for, you want to back it up, whatever your promise. If you're saying business tips for success, make them good tips. Like, make them the best stuff. Put in the time, put in the solutions, put in the answers. Like, quality is here. Like, cream rises to the top no matter how many cups of coffee you pour. Like, it's so vital that your content be good. And that's why you want to build around your expertise and put in the research and put in what you really know about and what you're really an expert with, and develop and study and do whatever you have to do to deliver quality answers. And one question you get all the time is, how long should this part be? And the answer is it should be as brief as possible, but as long as needed. And so you don't want to go longer than necessary, but if you have something that can't be explained in less than 30 minutes, then it's going to take 30 minutes, but don't take an hour. Take as long as needed, but keep it brief. And you can compare that with the fact that shorter is better even on YouTube. And we saw that the average, audience retention across my tech channel is about 3 minutes and 40 seconds. So we're pretty good if we stick around YouTube's time limits, but totally know there's flexibility. There's more long form content than ever before. Smart TVs are coming on the scene and people are watching longer form content. And so the rule of thumb is as brief as possible, but as long as needed. And your content should over deliver. Like, your content should be better than better. So not only do you give what the title of the video said, and they're like, whoa, that was a good video, but then give them a little something extra. How can you make your content even better? If appropriate, you can give calls to action during your content. And in fact, we've talked about this, the majority of people will not watch until the end. And so for sometimes when I'm trying to specifically want to build an email list, I might have 4 points, and I'll say, point number 1 is this tip. Point number 2 is this tip. And actually, if you want more on that, you can, there's a link in the description, and you actually could get my free guide on that particular thing. So kind of mid-content, you're able to give a call to action because you know that people won't watch until the end of the video. So whatever the purpose and the goal of your video, which we've already defined is, you can then give that call to action if it's relevant. And then again, that's optional. And we want to keep each video focused. Okay, then you get to the question. And you could do this earlier, but I love to ask a question in every single video because one of YouTube's top ranking factors is viewer engagement. And so get the viewer to engage in the comments if possible. And the way to do that is to ask a question. So I always say, question of the day. From this video, which of the 5 tips stood out to you the most? Or which tips would you have? Or what are further videos you want to see? There's a lot of different questions you could ask, but you want to really give an opportunity to address your viewer specifically and give them a call to action. Say, hey, let's connect in the comments. And that is a great thing to do. One even additional tip there is, if you're a business channel or something, maybe you're not going to be heavily engaged in YouTube as a community, but I would challenge you that you should. And for, of course, the video influencers, across the board, we all should go after YouTube as a community, realizing that we want to build a tribe of people and we want to engage with them. And so I always say, hey, thanks for watching this video. Question of the day, what point stood out to you? And do you have any other tips on this topic? Let us know in the comments below. And hey, some of the best tips and conversation is happening in the comment section. So definitely engage down there and be a part of the video influencers community and let people know and give them a call to action to be a part of that. Then we go into the outro, and this is a part where really quick we'll put up and say, hey, thanks so much for watching. You definitely don't forget to subscribe to this channel. If you appreciate it, like the channel, leave a comment and let me know about future videos you might want to see. And then, hey, if you haven't, and this point you could repeat the call to action. Remember, there's show notes in the description. Or remember, if you haven't got on our exclusive insiders email list, you can jump on there and then say goodbye. And you can have your tagline. So I might say, thanks again for watching. Until next time, Think Media TV is help you go further, faster in media. Keep crushing it, and we'll talk soon. And so you could do that. And then you also could have an optional end card. And so for practical example on this, if we go to best camera for YouTube, that's the old best camera for YouTube. Small camera for quick and easy videos. Let's go to the new best camera for YouTube. And we get to the end card. So what is the best all-around camera? And actually, I really encourage you too to go look at some of these videos to see them, to see examples of everything that we're talking about here in play. And all of almost these new videos. Think Media TV was not building an email list a little while ago, so we won't do that one. Let's do this, how to be consistent. So this video right here, you can look this one up, and after you look at this framework, you'll see every little nuance of what I'm doing, from the hook to the little graphic intro to trying to get attention, let people know what I'm going to promise on, 5 tips, and thing by thing. And so there's a little bumper, and that just came from Video Hive and on videohive.net. And then we go through the content, but this is what the end card is. And so I hit the question of the day and encourage people to connect in the comments. And then it cuts to the end card, and I keep sharing the outro while shrinking the video down with a subscribe button, just letting people know to subscribe. I don't actually put annotations or anything on that, but it's just this verbal cue. But it's this call to action to download the free guide, and they can get that, and it's a call to action to get up people on the email list. But you could create an end card for anything, and in this case, we really do want to build an email list, and we'll talk about that more later, but that is there. And we go through the end card, and then we get over to the bloopers. And so you would find those after the end card. They show that you're human. They add an element of fun. They're relatable, and they're kind of like an Easter egg. And they're kind of like, at times, for like your true diehard fans, start discovering that you have bloopers. And actually, one example, a friend of mine, Juan Pedro TV, he actually makes whatever's after the bloopers kind of extraordinary, like fun, to where he built a culture with his audience that like they would even skip to that part and start talking about it in the comments. So if you kind of want to, bloopers are totally optional. You don't have to do them, but that is my personal framework, and it kind of lets your hair down. If the rest of your videos edited well, you're like, you show you make mistakes. And I think that is totally important, and letting people know that you have fun and you are human, you are relatable, and you could even make them like crazy, like surprises that happen after the outro and end card if you use one. So should you use a script? You have an option, no script. You could use a script with a teleprompter, and there's one of the great things to do is you can get an iPad and use an app, and then buy a little search on Amazon for a teleprompter. And in the video gear guide, there's a link to a good one in there, and it's a thing that just works great with your iPad and the teleprompter app. But what I do is a hybrid. I don't read off a teleprompter, but I also don't just freestyle. I give an outline, and then I just kind of go through that outline during the video. So I know that the content can have solid anchor points, but can also have then just spontaneous freestyle. So it can be simple. When Benji and I shoot, my partner with video influencers, we'll just write down like 6 points. So we know that the content of this video is 6 points that we're going to be sharing, and then we alternate. And so we go, okay, number 1. And we share the point, and then we go on it, and then we go, okay, Benji, what's number 2? And he goes number 2. So it gives us a framework and outline, and you can download some additional resources on that as well. So lights, camera, action. Now is time to record your video based on the outline that we just went through. And so one power tip here is that when you're done recording, and so hit record your video, film it. Now's the time. Take 5 to 10 strategic photos that can be used for thumbnails for your video. And this is awesome because taking a screenshot will work. You can pull a screenshot, but if you take a specific photo, you'll notice a lot of good YouTubers have like a photo kind of like the one you're seeing. Not to say that that's a great photo, but it's me posing and pointing specifically because I'm going to point at a word or a phrase, or I'm going to look confused, and the video is going to try to get attention that way. And so if you take specific photos when you're already set up to film, then you can use those later to make custom thumbnails, and you can learn more about that in the bonus on thumbnails as well. So check that out in the bonus section. And then here's a big question. What about editing? And if you're taking this course, it's really, you're probably already making YouTube videos. You might already be good with that. But if this is new and it's kind of intimidating, you want to skip editing, it's really no problem. I mean, you can follow this formula straight through. And I'll give you an example is Roberto Blake is a YouTuber and really an entrepreneur. And he's got this video. He's doing great. I mean, he's got a lot of subscribers. This video's got a lot of views. It ranks #1 for his search term. And if you watch this video, it is straight through. He sits there and he's filming at his desk and he talks through his content, and you go through the entire thing. He's using an annotation there, and he's got his YouTube channel branding on there, which is added after the fact. So there's no graphics, there's no bumper, there's nothing fancy, but he is crushing it. And he's delivering good content. Like, there's good value inside of the video. And so you can absolutely follow that example as well. And you don't have to necessarily edit, but you can. So that's totally optional. But the key being, if you can get talking points down on the formula and even put that in Sharpie on a piece of paper next to the camera lens, and you're like, boom, hook, boom. Hey guys, and this, and just hit every single one of those, then that is going to make a strong video, even if it's straight through. Or of course you can do editing, polishing, whatever you want. And then the last tip here is you shot your video and you've theoretically brought it in, unless if it's one complete file, you could just rename it, but you've brought it into your editing software, you're exporting it. And when you export it, put the title, put your keyword in the title of the video file that you want to rank for. And so rather than leaving your video file just titled AVI 1265194, put how best camera for YouTube - 3 cameras for YouTube. And you can actually put a couple keywords in the title. What are we doing there? It's more triggers. We're stacking the language and communication with YouTube and Google about what our video is about. We're saying it in the intro. We're titling our video that way. We're optimizing our video with that keyword. We're going to do a bunch of stuff because there's one phrase that we want to rank for, that value phrase in our niche that we want our video to show up for. And so make sure to do that when you're saving it. And then upload your video to YouTube. Now, don't make it public yet. You still need to optimize the video, but upload it to YouTube and put it on private. And then in the next session, we're going to talk about launching it and getting it out there the right way. But first, really quick, biggest video mistakes, and you don't want to make these. Clearly, this lady made a mistake, and we don't want to be like her and end up in a situation that we regret. So first is starting with the bumper. Some people do it, and that's fine. But best practice and proven across the board is starting your YouTube video with you. Eye contact, you first. People on YouTube want to see other people. And so start with you, and then that's why the 5-second bumper comes later. But if you start with a bumper, and then if you do, some people start with a 3-second one. It's like boom, 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 just quick logo. That's cool. But some people start with 30 seconds of the same old thing. And it's like, okay, like I'm here because of the title I saw. I saw a good title and you ranked for it. And I saw a promise. Give me the promise. Let me know what I'm going to see. So don't start with a bumper. The other thing is too many calls to action at the beginning. So you could overdo that. Again, it's always stronger if we have one kind of purpose and goal. So people just don't need too many things to do. Now, when it comes to asking someone to subscribe, that's just kind of YouTube basic, like, and hey, subscribe. So just so you can be notified, but you wouldn't want to, here's the key. Don't send people in too many different directions. Just keep it simple and make sure that you accomplish the one purpose and the one call to action for which you created your video. And then not including your keywords in the file name or in the video file. And I would add not including your keywords right in that first sentence, and that hook that you're putting there, that is letting the person know they landed on the exact video. And you're also talking to Google, I think. So summary, here we are. You're doing great. We're on the record phrase. Don't get overwhelmed at this stage. It does take work. But remember, it is totally worth it to be #1 in the world. I mean, think about that. Your video is ranked #1, getting views while you snooze, working for you like employees that you only pay once. You got to pay them up front, and you got to put in the work and you put in the time, do the research. we went through reverse engineering and doing the research, and now we're going to record the video. And it's like, man, it's all this work. But yeah, but once it's done, we're sitting here months and years later and the videos are still working for us. And then remember, practice makes perfect. It's so much better to just get content out there and learn as you go. Don't let perfectionism stop you from being, oh man, I can't, put a video out that's not perfectly according to this formula. Here's the thing. With this information, you're going to be better than 99% of the people making videos online. So literally, if you just do a few of these things, you're going to have the cutting edge. And then make sure to also download the resources for this session. Wow. Guys, I mean, you made it. You're here, and we are done with the recording session. In the next session, we're going to talk about releasing the video and what we got to do next. And so stay with me. Keep your focus on your goal, on your why. And we are so close to now getting our videos ranked and having them get results for us all day long, 24/7, 365. So I can't wait to see you in the next session. Thank you for being here. It means so much, and we will talk soon in the next session.